Hey, it's Sarah with Loaves and Dishes, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make orange chicken. Before we get into today's video, be sure to subscribe to our channel. So this recipe is a Copycat Panda Express recipe, and I did change a couple things to suit what I like, but I'll point those out. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make a batter for our chicken to fry it. So I did some salt and some pepper, and I also added some garlic powder, and now I am adding cornstarch. This batter recipe makes a ton of batter, so if you're not making very much chicken, like say you're only making enough chicken for like maybe 2 or even 3 people, I would cut this in half. I would just do like half a cup of cornstarch and 1.5 cups of flour because it makes a lot. Also, this is a prime example of make sure you use the right bowl or the bowl size, because I was making this and I didn't use my biggest bowl because I thought surely it's not going to make that much, and it made too much, and then I slopped wet batter all over. So I added some flour. Now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of oil, and I'm going to add an egg. And so this batter, it turns into like a pancake type deal. I added 1.5 cups of water, but I ended up needing more water for it to be the consistency that I needed it to be. And you want it to be like a kind of a thin, like pancake batter-esque vibe. And if you need to add, I just said vibe. If you need to add more water, you can, that's fine. And that's pretty normal when you're cooking something like this, like when you're making this kind of thing. Depending on where you are and what time of year it is, you might need more or less liquid for things like this. So now I'm adding my chicken. Now I bought pre-cut chicken from the store. It was chicken breast. It worked fine. It didn't have as much flavor, or the texture wasn't quite right. It would be best to use chicken thighs, but you could use whatever you had. And you could also do this with other meats too. Like if you had like any pork that you wanted to use, just cut it up into small bite-sized pieces and you could do the same thing. So you just want to put that in the batter and set it aside for about 30 minutes. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to fry it. I'm using my wok. I'm just putting in a little bit of oil. I did a pretty shallow fry for these. And you want to fry them in batches. And I really recommend this for doing, like if you're new to cooking, like maybe you don't fry things very often, this is a great way to fry things. Just small batches. Like don't put in so much that it's like not manageable. Just put in enough to like kind of cover the bottom of your pan, and that's it. I think I only did maybe 1 or 2 more pieces. It took me, I did 3 batches, although I cut out the other 2 because didn't want to bore you with frying this. So I let those cook for about 5 minutes or so, and I did a double fry on these. So the first fry is just to get them cooked all the way through. The second time I fry them, it will be to get more color on the chicken. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. The chicken's perfectly cooked. The batter is perfectly cooked at this stage. It's just for color. That's the only reason I'm doing the double fry. So once I had fried everything, I cranked up the heat on my oil, and then I put those back in for just a few minutes. It doesn't take very long. And it's also important to note that when you fry stuff, whatever color you take it out at, see, like it's this like really nice golden color, it will continue to cook and the color will deepen like 1 shade darker once you take it out of the oil. So you don't want to leave it in too long. You want to just cook it just enough so that it gets a little bit more color. So, and that's it. You're going to set those aside to drain. And I had them on like a wire rack over a paper towel. So now for the sauce, I put in about 1 tablespoon of oil, and I did some chili flakes, some ginger, and some garlic. I used about 4 cloves of garlic. I wish I had used more. Now I added about 1/4 cup of orange juice, and in just a minute I'm going to add some sugar and some brown sugar. If you don't have orange juice, but you do have an orange, you could use orange juice and the juice and the zest of the orange. You're going to add some soy sauce as well. That would work great. Or if you wanted more orangey flavor, you could add that to complement the orange juice. And now you're going to add 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup of vinegar. And you want to be careful with the vinegar because the vinegar taste is going to cook off. And I think the vinegar is what makes orange chicken from Panda Express special. It has like a really nice zing when you eat it. So now I've made a cornstarch slurry. This is about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and about 2 tablespoons of water, and I'm just trying to mix that up before I pour that in. And this thickened up really quickly. It was like a minute of just stirring, and it was thick. So there you go. See how it's like nicely coating the back of my spatula there. And so I just cut the heat, and now I'm gonna put my chicken in and give that a nice toss. So this is not, it's a pretty simple recipe. I think if you're used to cooking, you know, like if you've cooked dinner every night for the past like long time, it's pretty simple. It does take a little bit of time. It's a labor of love for sure, but it's really delicious, and it's much cheaper than going to Panda Express. I don't know if you guys like Panda Express. I assume you do if you're watching this video, but it's kind of expensive. It's really good, but it's kind of expensive. But there it is. It was delicious. If you want to see more recipes, be sure to check out Loaves and Dishes, and thanks for watching.